Assalamualaikum and good evening everyone and Madam Hasna. My name is Muhammad Fik bin Abdul Halim, and tonight I will be presenting my pattern, which my subject is feather. So initially my idea was to choose a bird as my subject matter, and from there I've concluded that I'm going to use its feathers for my pattern. So why do I choose feather? So feather has a very powerful symbol, and one of the symbol is that it signifies honor and a connection between the owner, the creator, and the bird from which the feather came. So this pattern can be very personal to someone when they use it. It symbolizes trust, honor, strength, wisdom, power, and freedom. Now let's remember wisdom, power, and freedom later on in the slide. So here we can see my research and thought process on how I choose the feathers and how I deconstruct the feather itself. So feathers have many different types of structures, which I will show my reference later. So feathers, the type of feathers that I have chosen for this pattern, for this creation of this pattern, are the wing feathers, tail feathers, and contour feather. Now there are plenty more out there, but I choose 3 of these because they seem very simple to recreate. Plus, it's also by doing my style of pattern, which is a silhouette style, which I will show later on. I find these 3 feathers more easily recognized when it's in a silhouette form. So under the types of pattern, you can see the layout of the pattern that I want to make. So the first one is a scatter pattern, which is typical. Second one is the line pattern, which I connected the feathers to create a form of line. And the last one is a arranged pattern, which I combine all the feathers together to create one form of a symbol, and then I arrange it in a geometrical pattern. So next, here we can see here is my experiment, the experiment that I did for this pattern. So first I tried doing it using gradient, because I want to showcase the color of a bird's feather, and the feather that I'm using, it came from the feather of a parrot. So later on I will show the reference for that. So here are the feather. Initially I tried to include the tail feather as well, but since the tail and wing feather are pretty much similar, I removed the tail feather entirely, because they look pretty much the same, and since the color are both different, I don't think it combines with each other, it complements each other that greatly. So first I tried the gradient, and then I tried doing the symbol pattern that I'm doing. So when I did the symbol pattern and I tried to arrange it, it looks very it doesn't look very pleasing, at least in my opinion. It doesn't have that effect that I wanted. So at the end I concluded that I want to do a silhouette style. So by still using the same color palette that I've chosen here, I've made 3 types of the same feather. So one is a greenish turquoise color, and then there's a bluish purple color, and then a blue outline color. So still retains the idea of a silhouette. And then on the right we can see that I've tried 3 combinations. So the first one I tried a monochromatic color scheme, and then for the second one I tried a triadic color scheme, and so does the third one. So the principle of design that I've used for this is, first of all, first and foremost, are hierarchy. Now why do I choose hierarchy? Because you can see here that the brighter color pops out more, so it shows that it's like above, and then all the darker color are like the blue background, and then the like I said, the bluish purple color feather are like they're not convoluting each other, so it works perfectly. So I tried, at first I didn't really like this pattern, but then I tried different color background and it works tremendously well. So the second one, so the first one and the third one are pretty much the same arrangement I did, which is vertically. And then I tried a different type of arrangement, which is more randomized and using the triadic color. It complements each other, and still using the hierarchy principle, it works out great for my taste. So here are my inspirations that I use. The first one are is the inspiration for how I come up with like the silhouette, and how I come up with my own idea or my own spin to it, as you can see up here in the previous slide. And then the second one is how I combine both the first inspiration and the second inspiration to create this form of mixture of color that complements each other, whether it's monochromatic or triadic that I chose. The third one is the feel that I'm trying to get from my pattern itself. And then here you can see the parrot that I said that I used for inspiration. And here you can see it's the bird itself is a very monochromatic color, not including its head, of course. You can look back at the previous slide. Here we are. And then here are the type of feathers that I've used as reference. So like I said before, feathers have different type of structure and different types of feathers out there. There are contour, there are tail, there are down, there are semi-plume, you know, and the picture is quite cut off. There's actually a tail right here. So, and then finally we get to the final product, which is the pattern itself. You can see pattern number 1, pattern number 2, and pattern number 3. Side by side I put them to each other. And then lastly, the application for my pattern. And I chose pillow sheets because, as we look in the previous slides, which is right here, it symbolizes wisdom, power, and freedom. Now, what do we associate when we sleep? When we sleep, we rejuvenate ourselves, we give ourselves power, we give ourselves freedom from our daily life, usually at night. And like I said, it gives us wisdom, because when we learn something, we need to rest. So that's it for my pattern. Thank you, Madam Hassan.